Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark. It's about time I did a deep dive into one of my personal favorite topics when it comes to fashion and pop culture, and that is the costuming in teen TV shows, specifically the 2000s through to like the mid 2010s, because it just doesn't hit the same anymore. The influence some of these characters had at the time is honestly insane. Like truly, I don't think I would have this channel today if it wasn't for some of them. To really be considered a style icon, I feel like you kind of have to last the test of time, and unfortunately for us all, recent wardrobe design is honestly lucky to even be relevant when it first drops. The likes of Winx Saga and the Powerpuff Girls being universally dragged just from the promo. And I know we're supposed to be focusing on TV today, but I can't help but mention the recent photos from the Mean Girls musical film compared to the original movie. People are losing their minds over this on TikTok, calling it Shein core. It reminds me of when the film Not Okay was released and pretty much every outfit she wore was already deemed out of style. But back to TV shows, undoubtedly the only one in recent memory that has truly had a lasting impact is Euphoria. Its influence felt very organic in helping people be more expressive with their style and particularly their makeup. But even then, I'd go as far as to say season 2 didn't have the same impact, and I think one of the contributing factors to all of this is just the oversaturation on social media. There's so much trending in fashion all at once, and if you like it, your For You page is going to show it to you over and over and over again until you're sick of it. So when it comes to building a wardrobe for a new character, if you're having a big focus on trends, you're already going to be starting out on the back foot. And since we're exposed to so many more fashionable people these days, just having a decent outfit isn't really good enough. You need to be taking a risk and really making sure that the style perfectly aligns with the character. So obviously these older shows didn't have the same issues of having to compete with influencers and the sped up trend cycle. And I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy in general and looking at the whole thing with nostalgia colored glasses on, but I want to break down some of my favorite shows from the 2000s through to like the mid 2010s. Disney shows aren't going to be included in this. I can do a whole separate video on it if you want me to. Same goes for teen films as well. Before we go any further, I want to give a thank you to today's video sponsor, award-winning VPN Surfshark. I know not something that the TV icons of the past had to worry themselves with, but it is a necessity today if you're wanting to access content from around the world and keep yourself safe while you're browsing online. The version of Netflix you see can be completely different to someone on the other side of the world, but with Surfshark, you're able to quickly and easily change those location settings and instantly have access to a ton more content, including perhaps some of your favorite old teen TV shows that you're probably going to be in the mood to watch after this. But Surfshark is so much more than that. To me, they've become an everyday essential to ensure my safety online. They do this through various methods, including adding an extra layer of protection when you're using public Wi-Fi, or by preventing companies and bots from tracking your personal information. And Surfshark actually offers unlimited devices under just one account, so you're always going to feel safe. You can get an exclusive Surfshark deal if you enter my code SPOTLIGHT plus 3 extra months for free. And since Surfshark offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, you can try it all risk-free via the link on screen and down below in the description box. Obviously, there are a lot of potential candidates when it comes to this category, and we don't have time for them all. So I'm going to do a quick run through of some honorable mentions before we get to my top 3 on the pyramid. The first one, my outfit is a hint. I'm trying to serve you a little bit of Peyton Sawyer realness. Of course, I'm talking about One Tree Hill. Great show, good fashion, but definitely not icon status in my eyes, at least. I mean, I get it. Brooke Davis, definitely a style icon of her time, okay? If I was making this video in the late 2000s, perhaps it would be. But today, do I see people referencing it? Not as much. Of course, I have to mention the infamous styling of Pretty Little Liars, and when you first look back at it, you're like, oh my god, what were we all thinking? But honestly, the closer you look, the more you're like, maybe they did eat that just a little bit. And I have an entire video on them, which is why I'm not diving into it today, so check that out if you're interested. I know there's going to be some Vampire Diaries stands in the comments, and I see you, but please ask yourself, how much of a deep dive can you do into jeans and a t-shirt? You know what I'm saying? I understand that this was quite impactful at the time, definitely a period where minimal fashion was more at the forefront, but for me personally, it doesn't spark joy, so I'm just gonna leave it. On the other hand, we have Scream Queens. I am obsessed with the wardrobe design in this show. This is what I'm talking about. Like, nobody wants to take risks anymore. However, it just didn't quite fit into this video. It was going to be like comparing apples and oranges. We're gonna have like normal teenager fashion and then this that resides in like the land of camp. Hopefully we'll get to discuss it more another day, but for now, those are my honorable mentions. May I present my big 3. I want to start out with skins. Not that I think it's controversial, but it does kind of come from a unique perspective, because I imagine if you're an outsider looking in, have no context on this show whatsoever, and you just saw a screenshot, you'd be like, you've made a mistake. This can't possibly be style icon status. And I agree, there's gonna be some truly horrific outfits, so please brace yourself for that. But even still, you can't deny its impact. I see generations that most likely didn't grow up with the show still embodying some of the characters. And of course I have to mention that in recent years, often it's brought up as a comparison to Euphoria, which I totally get. They do have a darker sort of undertone to them as opposed to your typical teen drama. But when it comes to the aesthetic specifically, I feel like part of Skin's charm is that realistic, gritty feel. Like, these kids actually look like people you could have gone to school with as opposed to some Hollywood star. So obviously if that's something you're trying to capture, the costuming probably isn't going to be as polished. I feel like the question probably still remains, how is this considered style icon status? And all you need to keep in mind is not all character wardrobes were created equal. There's only a couple sprinkled in there, but the impact that they still have is enough to warrant it. Okay, I want to make this a tier ranking, and at the bottom, we're just going with straight jail time, because trust me, it will be necessary. Just to step up, we've got I'm Not Gagging. And then because of the nature of this content, I thought an appropriate mid-tier would be She Was the Moment. Like, you can see the vision for the time period. However, you just probably wouldn't want to wear it today. The girlies love the vibes. Self-explanatory. And then our S tier has to be, and I said I want to make history. Okay, but what if we just start out with the absolute abomination that is these two outfits that they wore to a funeral, mind you. The unironed, ill-fitting satin skirt, not to mention just the horrendous choice for color blocking. This is quite literally the epitome of jail time. And I hate to say it, but Michelle and Joel are definitely going to be repeat offenders. With that being said, character-wise, Michelle is actually supposed to be the stylish, popular girl. Didn't age well. However, you have to give her this look. This is like her one redeeming outfit. It's kind of giving a bit Regina George. I love it. I'd still wear it, statement necklace and all. In general, there's something about Michelle's styling that hits a little bit too close to home for me. Like, I'm pretty sure I owned these gray skinny jeans, which they've never been cute. And then do not even get me started on her posture in this frame. Oh my god. It'll bring a tear to my eye. In this scene, she's like convincing Jal, like, no, let me give you a makeover. And oh my god, does Jal go off, because this is one of the best looks of the entire season. Absolutely stunning. But what's truly baffling is what Michelle puts herself in. Unfortunately, we don't get a really clear shot of it, but it's like this neon pink sequin situation with the bright blue bra straps on display. And I swear, if you had to pick a signature for Michelle, it would indeed be a colored bra peeking out. But yeah, sadly for her, because her character's wardrobe was so trend driven, a lot of them are a hard rewatch. Some are almost giving Disney Channel vibes. This one here, where she has like the pencil skirt, is more that like business casual era, I guess. The amount of skinny belts is truly horrifying, and also these like longer length Bermuda shorts. This is the reason why it's taken me so long to get on board with the trend this second time around. Oh my god, how did I forget this one? She's gone double up on the metallics, and then she has also matched the color of her bra strap to her necklace. And I know I said Joel has the more simple looks, but then every now and again she just layers on everything imaginable. What on earth is happening here? She's also quite partial to like a layered shirt, dress slash tunic sort of situation, and tell me why I actually don't mind this one. It's more of like a sweater dress sort of version, and she's got the little knee-high socks. Like, we could update this. I could see the vision. But like I was kind of saying before, in order for your style to stay relevant for years to come, you really want it to be more personal rather than trend driven, which is definitely what they did with Cassie. Absolute style icon. And I guess her wardrobe could be considered like a manic pixie dream girl sort of trope. This is kind of hard though, because I just love all of her outfits. I don't even know where to begin. Let's just go with literally what we are introduced to her wearing. And this is actually a really good example of the comparison between the two girls' wardrobes, because Michelle looks phenomenal. Like, you cannot doubt that. However, if someone was wearing that in a show today, you would feel as though it was out of style, as opposed to Cassie. I feel like we could expect to see that in pretty much any era. Still, some of her looks aren't going to be for everyone. Like this, I feel like is giving very kindergarten art teacher. But then you have this look that consists of very similar elements, but it just feels a little bit more refined. And can we also please just take a moment for accessorizing with a watch on the ankle? And speaking of accessorizing, because this did somewhat inspire today's necklace choice, she is literally wearing a plush toy monkey around her neck to a party. Icon behavior. Her more simple sort of looks consist of either slip dresses or just like a dainty girly dress in general. I love when it's teamed with like a funky sock or a leg warmer. This particular shot of her and Chris absolutely lives rent-free in my mind since the first time I saw it. There's just something about it that is so good. And the metallic flats she's wearing here, we actually see a couple of times around, and I mean, come on. These are literally one of the biggest trends at the moment. And I mean, speaking of, also another huge trend, the bow on the t-shirt. You do not understand how many years I have searched for this. When she has her little moment in Scotland, like this legit looks like so many people on TikTok right now, myself included. I don't even know why I like this look. At this point, I think I'm just biased to anything Cassie wears, because a colorful floral long sleeve layered underneath a black sequin dress doesn't sound very appealing. But I mean, maybe you just throw on the goldfish necklace and for some reason it all makes sense. What can I say? Cassie is just that girl. Down to the fact that she has the cute little stars on her flip phone, like, hello. I feel like when it comes to Skins fans, you're probably either a Cassie girl or an Effie girl. Effie probably the more popular pick of the two. I don't know, was Gen 2 just more successful in general? And let me tell you right now, Freddie was my love. So I guess that's probably why I had like a love-hate relationship with Effie. But as far as style goes, I feel like she is the most relevant today, which is truly such a testament to the wardrobe designer, because a lot of Effie's looks do actually incorporate trends still. However, the overall style is so specific and so perfectly matched to Effie as a character, to the point where viewers are able to easily associate certain characteristics with Effie's style, which means it doesn't really matter what year you're watching in, you're able to adapt the outfits accordingly. Personally, this is my #1 Effie look. The first one that comes to mind, it still leaves me gagged. I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. I do want to be her. And we do often see her in these little black or grey dresses, and a lot of the time with a heavy dose of accessorizing with the necklaces. This is what I meant when I said she participated in trends. The striped Topshop Jamie jeans, you do not understand. These were the moment. I do want to talk about some of the other girls in this generation as well. Our popular girl is supposed to be Katie. She has some preppy sort of moments, like the sort of thing that Zoella would have worn back in the day. But she also just has this insane obsession with a leopard print, and sometimes it's done better than others. Like this one, which I think is the first scene we actually meet her in. This one, not so much, and I feel like she takes it to a whole other level when she tries to do like a mature businessy sort of look, but she still has the damn leopard on. Naomi's kind of wild because she routinely comes out with some of the most atrocious fits of the show. Like this one in particular, my god. But then seemingly out of nowhere, she rocks up to the dance in this almost like Vivienne Westwood coded look, and from head to toe, this is flawless. Easily for the history books. Same goes with this Effie one. It's just so good, and I swear it's where my love for like super shredded sweaters came from. Of course, a lot of Effie's looks are accompanied by a much brighter panda, and she's just giving you her best Disney Channel realness. Honestly, I'm not that mad at it, surprisingly. And it's funny because I always used to think that doing a full Skins lookbook where I tackled like every character would just be too hard. But now that we've done this deep dive, I'm like, no, 100%, I could totally take that on. So obviously the OC is a little bit older than the other series I'm talking about, and for that reason seemingly less people have rediscovered it. However, I will say particularly this summer, I feel like I've seen it brought up more frequently. And honestly, if you haven't seen this, I actually envy you, because in my personal opinion, this is the best first season of a teen television drama ever. Absolutely, without a question. I'm not sure if they just didn't know whether or not they were going to get picked up for another season, because they squish so much content into the first one that it ends up being that the other three just cannot compare. And I know I'm talking about the fashion today, but I feel like when it comes to the OC, I can't not mention the music, because it is just a spectacular soundtrack. Like there's so many iconic moments that you just can't help but link to the song that was playing. As far as styling, obviously it's set in Orange County, hence the name. So you're getting that very rich, summery California vibe. If you're into like early to mid 2000s Paris Hilton aesthetic, I'm sure you'll find something to love here. And actually, she makes an iconic cameo where she takes a flip phone selfie. So I guess technically the main characters are Marissa and Ryan, but I would say pretty much universally fan favorites are Seth and Summer. I swear, like any nerdy, charismatic character that you love that came out post 2003 was probably influenced by this man. And the fact that in real life Seth Cohen from the OC marries Blair Waldorf from Gossip Girl will truly never leave my mind. But anyway, the point I'm supposed to be getting to is the two girlies are besties, they both come from money in the popular crew, and while their styles somewhat overlap in ways, I feel like they still have their distinct differences. And honestly, for the most part, that probably partly came down to the fact that Marissa is so much taller as opposed to Summer being quite petite. Like straight away, I need you to know, if you're into the ballet flats trend at the moment, Marissa Cooper is now your queen. I'm not gonna lie, it's not personally for me. I'm always gonna reach for my platforms, but most of the screenshots I have of her cut out the footwear choice anyway, so I won't be too biased. With that being said, there's still no position for this other than jail time. You cannot convince me otherwise. Other than flats, Marissa is also the poster girl for jeans and a cute top, which is nice and all, but it is a little bit go girl, give us nothing, so I'm not gagging is probably where a few of these are gonna go. That does not include this look though. For some reason, I'm just very attached to this one. I mean, rocking up to your first day at public school with a little bit of Chanel tease it's a slay. Of course, today we have our Chanel girly Jenny Kim, but I feel like back in the day, it was Marissa. Another one of my favorites is the Chanel pearls. I couldn't even tell you what the rest of the look was, but I still think of those. Also, a go-to item of hers was the polo, often styled with like a midi skirt. And I don't know, you tell me, were these actually popular in America at the time? I don't remember these ever having a moment here. And for some reason, they really did like styling her in those mid-lengths, but personally, I love when she would break out a mini skirt, particularly this one. Like, imagine finding this at the thrift store today. You would literally think you hit the jackpot. Not anything special per se, but I do like it with the little skinny scarf. This one is iconic though. The pleated denim skirt, the colorful striped cardigan, perfect inspo for the carnival. I threw this one in here because I think it's literally the only time I remember seeing her in boots. Another favorite for me for sure. I'm such a sucker for a pink and green color combo, and obviously Summer's outfit is perfection, which is kind of like what inspired today's little look, minus the bandana because I just can't pull them off. Summer's wardrobe in the first season perfectly matches her name. It's so bright and bubbly. We get a lot of bikini looks. This one though has to go straight to the top, representing for those of us too scared to get our belly button pierced because she's just done a little bedazzle moment. There's honestly so many cute looks. Like, I'm putting all of these in the girlies love the vibes, even the more simple ones. I don't know. This one stands out to me because I would 100% wear it. Same goes for this. And this is like her take on the annual carnival. Her other essential, probably along with like every other popular character from this time period, was of course a colored tracksuit. This beautiful blue, I think, is it almost like terry toweling in a little zip up dress version, is the first thing that comes to my mind though. I'm obsessed with this. Another really cute look I'd love to recreate, but perhaps more importantly, the perfect segue into our next character, Anna Stern. Quite possibly one of my favorite characters of all time and also most influential to my style. Clearly a love for hats, which I will always appreciate. Once again, we find ourselves seeing an iconic bow t-shirt, this time teamed with the plaid mini skirt. And actually when she first comes in, she styled it with a leopard coat over the top. We also get this gorgeous off the shoulder baby pink sweater moment, and this kind of looks like something any of the girls would wear, but then you see the full length shot and she's teamed it with bright blue tights and you're like, oh no, only Anna. This is another cute look she gives us with colored tights, kind of a mod inspo. Like, are you seeing this? Of course I'm obsessed with layering. I wish we got a better shot of this because I feel like it's not totally doing the tank justice, but it kind of looks like some sort of daisy open knit sort of situation. She does some terrific color combos. I love this one with the bright blue scarf, and also this one again, like that pink and green sort of vibe. And the graphic tee I think is Emily the Strange. Honestly, I'm just never gonna forgive them for robbing her of more screen time. And you know what? That goes to all of Hollywood as well. Like, why was she not cast in more? Okay, I was dying to see her again. Oh my god, how did I forget this look? The baby pink leather jacket. Oh, this was everything. Also, can we just take a minute to note the difference in what the girls chose to wear golfing? I am indeed an Anna girly through and through. You know what is disappointing in this show though, is when they have to do formal wear. I feel like it was always a letdown. I'm not talking when they can get away with like a cocktail dress because then they know how to serve, it's okay. I'm talking when it's time to go to prom, because what is this? They're giving us absolutely absolutely nothing. These dresses could have been at my high school formal. I'm watching the OC. I'm gonna want a little bit more than that. And this is another one from homecoming or prom or something like that. Like, it just looks like a long sundress, which is not bad, but I was expecting so much more. Like I said, usually the little cocktail function dresses are cute. I love this yellow gingham one from summer. This blush pink jump waist dress looks like something the girls would eat up today. And once again, when I'm identifying those looks that instantly come to mind, it is Marissa in this dress. I don't care if it was only in my head, history was made. And on the other hand, I like to pretend this one never happened. Oh, and speaking of things that I just like to pretend never happened, when they brought Anna back, but she had these god-awful extensions in, not an outfit, but a costume that has to be included, is Summer Roberts as Wonder Woman, because I'm telling you, this changed lives. I know I've touched on some trends that have come back around, and another one that Marissa rocks is dress over pants. I'm a huge advocate of this. I wear it all the time. However, I don't think you'll catch me styling it the way she did. You know what she can't give style advice on though? Cute little outfit to go shoplifting in, because she did not have to go this hard. Actually, a lot of the outfits I featured, especially for summer, aren't even from the first season, but like the first few episodes of this season, because she does go down quite a style evolution. She ends up getting some cute autumn looks in the first season, pulling out the plaid skirts, little cardigans. But as her character kind of evolves from the more bitchy, popular party girl into a more studious, caring person, they definitely switch her into more of a boho sort of aesthetic. There's longer flowy skirts, florals, and overall a more muted sort of color palette. A lot of these are still cute in their own right, but it's just when you have the side by side, the switch up is insane. Marissa does have a little bit of a switch up as well, mostly when she's dating Alex and going for kind of like a pop rocker sort of aesthetic, I guess. This particular one though just gets me, because typically I do like a blazer badge moment. So I'm like, okay, what have we got here? Then you see the full shot and it is so confusing. What the hell is happening? Absolutely jail time. I wasn't really going to talk about the older characters, but just know Julie Cooper is always serving you MILF. I still have so many photos, but I think I just want to end with this shot. I admit probably my personal bias putting it in the top tier, because it is a fairly simple look, but that is kind of the beauty of the OC styling as well, and part of the reason why I feel like it's lasted the test of time. But this is definitely an iconic episode as well, and I just remember the first time I saw it, ever since wanting that exact blouse of Summer's, and whenever I'd get something similar, it just didn't hit the same, and I'm like, oh, it's because I'm not Summer Roberts. But yeah, again, just to reiterate, if you haven't seen this, I am begging you, do yourself a favor.
And on top of the pyramid, going 3 for 3.
You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.
I mean, come on, of course Gossip Girl is going to be my number one. It is still quoted and referenced on the daily. Of course, they still have their questionable looks, but I feel like what the costuming does so well is it doesn't seem like they're just putting together an outfit because they deem it cute. It's also always aiding in telling us who this character is. They really took the time to develop their personal styles and almost give them like key wardrobe essentials, so whenever you see that, instantly you think of Blair or Serena. The other thing I feel like they had on their side was this sense that everything was somewhat unattainable. It wasn't the sort of fashions that you were going to see just an everyday person wearing on the street. It really felt like it existed in its own bubble. And of course there were other shows that were also using high ticket designer items. I mean, even the OC, for example, but the difference is they were still almost trend driven, the sort of things that fast fashion companies could recreate. So you still are getting that problem of oversaturation. Whereas a lot of the looks on Gossip Girl, I feel like still to this day are kind of tricky to recreate. And of course with this series, we also are blessed with the direct comparison, because they did have the reboot. Like, this is literally proof that if you want to make an impact, you're probably gonna have to take a risk. To be fair to the reboot, all the outfits were passable, but it just wasn't anything new. It was the sort of things we'd already been seeing on social media for years. So you just left kind of blah and uninspired. So today I'm channeling Little J, kind of in her in-between era when she's still inspired by Blair, but she's putting her own little spin on things. And by the way, then now always Jenny Humphrey will be my favorite character. I feel like she had such an influence on me. Like, I had always liked clothes, but when I started watching Gossip Girl, all of a sudden I was looking up designer shows. I wanted to learn to sew. In other words, this is just a warning that the tier ranking will probably be biased. I've added way too many photos in this one, but I just want to start off strong. One that I think most people would agree is one for the history books, and that is Blair in the red dress. I feel like she wears a couple, but this is the red dress, which is kind of interesting to me, because if you ask me overall who is the best dressed when it comes to gowns and evening wear, I'm gonna say Serena. I feel like that is her strong point. I mean, hello, the iconic moment at the front of the ballet. The tiered yellow dress at the wedding, I feel like is somewhat polarizing. Personally, I like it. So I'm gonna be the girlies love the vibes, but it's probably more like the girls would get it. This one here, not one of her finest moments. I'm gonna go with I'm not gagging. Wait, do I not have the masquerade ball in here? I don't think I do, but if it was, she would be going high. I think the girlies love the vibes. The other thing about Serena is that her wardrobe more so thrives in the warmer weather as opposed to Blair, who I feel like kills it for winter inspo. For example, just comparing their coat game, I feel like Blair has it in the bag. Particularly this one, the black and white with the white tights is just so crisp. I love it. The cape moment, incredible. Whereas Serena, for me, is just not giving. Like, anyone could be wearing this. She could have gotten it out of Lily's closet for all I know. A lot of her summer outfits, I would probably put in she was the moment. Perhaps you think I'm being too generous with some of them, but I can definitely see where they were coming from. Like, if I think back to that time, I'm like, yeah, I would have wanted to wear it. Particularly this one with the little fur vest. Definitely would have been up my alley. And actually in general, I feel like she knows how to rock a vest, especially in a lot of the effortless school looks we see in the earlier seasons. A lot of these I'm gonna have to put in the girlies love the vibes. Same go for like the school looks with the little moto jackets. But yeah, back to some of those summer looks. I feel like people probably didn't like this one, but I have to put it in She Was the Moment simply because this influenced me to buy a pair of peach wide leg pants. I don't care, this is going top tier for me, not because of what she's wearing, simply the hairstyle. Like, Serena's hair in general, I feel like had a lot of people in chokehold. We don't have anything in jail time yet, but the easiest way to fix that is just bring up pictures of Vanessa because my lord, what were they thinking? I mean, I guess I kind of get where they're coming from. They don't want her to be as well dressed as everyone else because she's supposed to be like the outsider who has less money, but honestly, there was no reason to do it like this. When they actually make her outfits a little bit more on the simple side, although they may not be my personal taste, I feel like they really suit her. And I don't know what's up with me, but I actually do kind of like those shoes. But anytime they pulled out those damn hot pink docs, instant jail time. It's actually really interesting to look back at old articles that were critiquing and rating the style. I mean, at least this one in particular, because I feel like their opinion was the complete opposite of mine. For example, this outfit for me is instantly, and I said I want to make history. And I thought this one was universal. Did everyone not want to be Blair on the ice skating rink? But apparently they thought that it took dressing for occasion way too far. Absolutely cannot relate. Some of the Blair looks that I'm not such a big fan of are definitely giving old maiden type of shoes, if you will. And I feel like we do see a lot of this when she's in her royal era, so at least it makes sense storyline wise, but I still hate it. I mean, looking at it now, a lot of my favorite looks from her are from the earlier seasons as well, when she's really giving us true preppy queen bee Blair. There's a lot of red that I'm loving. These two looks instantly come to mind. This one though can't go any higher than She Was the Moment with the PVC coat, the red leggings, but then you get to the shoes and you're like, ooh. This one too, but it has to go even lower because it is just doing way too much. And Chuck Bass should be considered lucky that he's not included in this tier list because he would be a serial offender. I'm not anti-colored stockings in general though. Like, I love this pink moment we see from Jenny. Actually, this one is like so close to being top tier for me, but I feel like you guys are gonna clown me. But this is what I mean. Like, for me, Jenny literally served from start to finish. This dress could very well be considered my version of the Roman Empire. I still think about it to this day. I feel like it truly changed the trajectory of my life. The black and white plaid one she's wearing when Nate comes to her rescue, I feel like I loved at the time, but yeah, She Was the Moment. Oh, this one. This is like loosely the inspiration for today, the super mini but voluminous dress. Stunning. Am I being unreasonable? I'm seeing one, maybe two that I might put in I'm Not Gagging, but for the most part, I'm obsessed. Like, even this one, I know it's technically a Serena outfit, but designed by Jenny. Is this a polarizing look? I'm not sure. To me, it's history. If I'm thinking Gossip Girl, this look comes to mind. Yeah, you're definitely gonna think I'm crazy for that one. This Blair look as well, because it definitely lives towards the front of my brain. And she actually really does serve us versatility. I know I said that Serena is more of the summer girly, but when Blair does it right, she does it right. This like mixed fruit print look from Paris, I still dream of. And please let this be a reference image the next time someone tells you that skinny pants will never ever look good, because what is this? The bodycon dresses we often see Serena in, sometimes Jenny as well, I feel like should be in She Was the Moment, because although I'm Not Gagging today, I feel like they were that girl at one point. At least this Jenny one has to be, because like, she looks phenomenal. Serena's sequin blazer has to be She Was the Moment as well. I literally remember searching for one at the thrift store solely because of her. And again with the sequins, this one I have to put in I'm Not Gagging because look at it. But honestly, I feel like you could easily update this for today. Like, I've seen Beginning Boutique selling a very similar skirt. Also, what era of Serena was this, and why does it look like she's channeling Spencer Hastings? I kind of like it. Oh my god, how did I miss this Jenny look before? This, again, top tier for me, I'm sorry. Similarly, in the way that I feel like it just leans a bit too mature. I personally don't love Serena in pants. That sounds kind of weird, but you know what I mean. Some of them are passable, which is also how I feel about Blair in shorts when she's in that kind of like internship, university, working girl era. Like, some of them work, some of them don't. Something that Blair always did well though was any sort of like nightwear, slip, lingerie adjacent looks. I don't have them all listed, but just know I am in love. And also goes back to that thing of it all feeling very unattainable. Like, who actually goes to sleep in this sort of stuff? At this point, anything I have left is just gonna have to be quick fire, otherwise we will quite literally be here all damn night. This was a lot of fun. Let me know your thoughts on the fashion in these particular series and what you think were the most memorable character moments. Overall, I think I have to give it to Gossip Girl, and also would love to hear from you in regards to future videos. Do you want to see more like this? I could do like cartoons or teen films, or I could do a follow-up to this video and actually break down some of the wardrobe essentials from these iconic shows. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for today and go and continue my rewatch of the OC. Remember, if you're looking to do something similar, to check out today's video sponsor, Surfshark. All the links down below in the description box. And hopefully I see you really, really soon. Bye!